guys, what's going on? My name's Danny, aka Thriftfish. I'm an online fashion reseller and I sell used and new clothing on the Poshmark app. I also sell on eBay and Mercari. Today I want to bring you through my inventory process. So I don't know if that's really the right term for it, but basically this is what happens after I bring my inventory home from the thrift store and what I do with the pieces before I start photographing and listing them. So this includes measurements, this includes figuring out what my pricing's gonna be and weighing the items so that I can ship them through eBay. So I do believe that this is my most time-consuming process as a reseller, and so I'm kind of actively trying to think of ways to make this a faster process, although I will say it is actually one of my favorite processes because I really like looking up the items that I sourced and figuring out how much they originally were worth and how much they're selling for now. That I really enjoy, but it also takes up a lot of my time. I think I spend a little too much time trying to do research on the item, trying to look up exactly the stock photo and exactly what the retail price was and exactly the style name, which I think as long as you're using good descriptive words in your listings and your titles, you don't necessarily need style names, but it's just something that I really like to do in my business, so I kind of have to make a decision, I think, in the next month or so of whether or not that's going to continue being worth my time. So is it worth it to just get things listed quickly with good descriptors, or is it worth it to spend the time to look for style names and stock photos? So I think it might be hit or miss. With some items I can go a little quicker, and then with some other items, maybe a little higher end items, I might look into, you know, where they actually came from. But that's a discussion for another time. I really just want to bring you through my process and show you everything I do during this stage, and maybe you'll have suggestions for me about how to go faster, or maybe you'll get some ideas from what I do. Just sharing my business practices and kind of recording how I'm doing things at this stage of the business. So in this haul behind me, I actually do have 23 items. So I'm going to show you a little bit of, you don't have to sit with me through the whole thing, but I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I do this. And then I'll get these things listed starting tonight. So stay tuned if that sounds interesting to you. So I already went through the process of taking everything out of the IKEA bags that I brought them home in, and hanging them up on my hanging rack, which is in my office space, which is, you know, supposed to be a dining room, but this is where I work. I will take everything out of the bags, hang them up, and then two things that I always make sure I have out when I'm doing this part is scissors, because I'm cutting tags, and my measuring tape, which usually goes around my neck, so I always have it. And we are gonna get started. Okay, so here's an example. This is a Madewell jacket that I found at the Goodwill outlet yesterday. It does have a style number on its interior tag. However, this is a pretty old style, so I wasn't actually able to find it right away on Google. I did find somebody who had it for sale on Poshmark, labeled as an, kicking things, as an anorak jacket. So I went to Poshmark and searched Madewell anorak jacket, and then I found somebody else who had this for sale with the correct style name. So then I looked that up on Poshmark to find out what its original retail price was, as well as what it's currently selling for. And so I'm gonna price this at, first of all, it retailed for $178 quite a few years ago. But it is still, let's see, the last sale was last October, so definitely a couple months ago, but it still sold for $42. So I'm gonna list mine at $45 and see what happens. Now I'm going to weigh the jacket. So I have my scale here. I'm gonna turn on, I use this box to weigh my items in to account for shipping materials, and so it all fits on the scale. So I just put my jacket in the box, and then it comes out to 1 pound, like 10 ounces. So that is what I will write in my spreadsheet, 1 pound, 10 ounces. And then I'll hang it back on the hanger. I'll hang it back on the hanger and then measure it once it's hanging back up. And for jackets, I will do bust length, and sometimes I'll do shoulders. I don't do arm length usually, but if somebody asks, I'll provide it. So here you'll see me just continuing the process with this fossil leather crossbody bag. I'm just looking up similar items on Poshmark that have sold recently, basing my pricing off of them, measuring it, weighing it, and putting back. Next I have this J. Crew factory dress, which unfortunately the tag on the inside was cut out, so I couldn't look up the style number, but I just Googled some keywords and was able to find the dress and figuring out weight, pricing, and measurements for this item as well. Next I have some bed stew sandals that I found at the bins. So I'm taking a little bit of time here to buckle them. And then for these, again, I just used keywords on Google and did eventually find the exact style name of the sandals so I could figure out what they retailed for and what they're selling for now on Poshmark. Same with this Reformation striped t-shirt. I felt that I was spending too much time looking at this one, so I did not actually end up getting an exact style name for the t-shirt, but I found similar t-shirts and am just going to use descriptive keywords in my listing. A pair of Everlane jeans. I've sold these a couple times, so it didn't take me long to come up with the pricing. For jeans, I will measure the waist, the inseam, and the rise. Next is this cute little pair of Athleta shorts. You can find the style number for Gap, Athleta, Banana Republic. They're all the same company and they all have their style number in the same place on the tag. So again, just going through the same process with these. And here's a Bella doll top that I was able to find a style name for, and some similar items on Poshmark. So again, just basing my pricing off the most recent solds and entering all of the items and details into my spreadsheet. So that's my process. That's it. I hope that this was helpful to some of you. If you have any questions about my process, feel free to leave them in the comments. And let me know something that you've done to help your process move a little quicker. Thanks for being here. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up. And if you like this content and want to see more, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I'll see you again real soon.